Like, Luka, look, you just standing there. Look, watch this again, Luka. He just went right by. Luka, what are you doing?
I'll say there was some effort on that one.
Fouling. Luka, what are you doing? Get back into play, Luka. Luka. He would hate me. Luka, come on, bro.
In fanhood, there's levels in fanhood. You a fanboy because you don't represent the hood, you represent the player. So don't pretend that representing a player and representing a team is the same thing. So watch your fanboy mouth anytime you vlog on my name. Let's slow it down.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, Big Tone. I had to fall back from your boy, man, the locker room, man.
I went up to you, I've been telling you, you ain't want to
Nah, it's not that I didn't.
That boy's a two-way player, bro.
I be trying to laugh with the
Two-way player, bro. He's the only nigga that keep LeBron picture up no matter what he's talking about.
But they can't take a joke.
Yo, Big Tone, this dude was talking. Like, my thing is, anytime you beat him in a debate, he always got a condescending narrative, like, oh, you guys don't know basketball and all of this shit. So I'm like, all right, well, debate me then. He like, oh, nobody debates. We just fans. Our debates don't matter. And I'm like, so why the fuck you got a show called The Smoke Show? Like, it's just too much of moving the goalposts for me. And it's like, I just did basketball talk. I ain't talk about none of the extra corny shit he was doing, but just basketball talk. When it came down to basketball content, I was whooping his ass. And he got disrespectful. He got disrespectful to somebody on my panel, so I stopped fuck with him. You know how I know it was bad? He came all the way. He came to my Facebook. Like, I never seen nobody go from sorting somebody out on Facebook from YouTube. Like, bruh, I went to his page. He kept calling. He kept putting my picture. I said, yo, you keep putting my picture up.
Like, they make my soundbite part of the show. I never seen nothing like this, where somebody that's a different blogger on a different stream takes your soundbite and DJs your shit. Like, he's like a fucking DJ.
Some getting dry for your bag.
I gonna tell you why the beef started with me and Reggie, right? Reggie fucked one of my niggas' bitches, right? The locker room went to fuck one of my niggas' bitches, right? That's what he fucking did. He fucking disrespected the bitch.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, man, we are back, folks. We are back, man. We are most definitely back, folks. Wow, man, it's finally over with, chat. It's finally over, man. The most boring series I have ever seen in my life, man. The New York Knicks versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, folks. I kid you not, folks. I fell asleep during the game again. I don't think this has ever happened to me before, bruh. Seriously, folks. I think every game this series I fell asleep on. Jesus Christ, I'm so glad that series... Boy, that series was boring, man. I don't know what it was, chat. Once again, you know, I ate before the game came on. I did eat before the game came on. So, by the time the game came on, you know, I caught a case of the itis. And, yeah, I was in the bed. I put the game on, and I was knocked out by midway through the first quarter, folks. I'm gone. I wake back up, you know, it's second quarter. It's like, okay, Cleveland looks like they're going to lay down. And then I doze back off again, wake back up, and Cleveland's getting blown out. It's just like, okay, thank God, man. Thank God this pathetic series is over. Because, yeah, man, that was just, Jesus Christ, man, that was boring. That was boring. I can't even lie to you. I was bored watching that series, man. I couldn't even stay up. That's how boring the NBA is, man. I can't even stay up watching these games, man. I mean, it's crazy. We got Mike298. You said I didn't watch it. Yeah, man, I tried. I really did. I tried, but it's just hard, man. You know, I'm a LeBron fan, right?
LeBron fans.
I'm a LeBron fan, folks. It's hard for me to watch Jalen Brunson, man. Like, that's hard for me to do, man. Oh my God, it's hard for me to, you know, care about these dudes, man. It's hard, chat. I'm trying, but I just can't do it, man. So yeah, obviously, you guys see the title of the show. You know, I want to talk a little bit about this game, but then obviously, you know, I want to talk about, you know, I mean, like I said, you know, this dude, man, this dude is he's just pathetic, dog. Like, you know, he's getting surpassed by basically everybody, you know, and Laker fans, you know, they don't want to acknowledge this stuff, right? They want to continue to act like, you know, we're not witnessing what we're witnessing. Folks, you guys see the title of the show, okay? You guys see the title of the show, man. Not only has this dude gotten surpassed by SGA, who just won his second MVP, right? Not only did that happen, folks, now he's getting passed by his former teammate and second round pick in the same draft class that he was in, Jalen Brunson. Are you serious right now? Folks, this stuff is getting disgusting, man. Like, it's getting nasty, bro. It's getting truly nasty. And you guys want to sit up here and keep pandering and keep trolling, you know? When are we going to start having honest conversations, man? The league has passed this dude up, man. They're lapping this dude at this point, man. They're lapping this dude. He's getting lapped. This is actually insane, man. Not only is he getting clapped, he's getting lapped. Not only is he getting his cheeks clapped, he's getting lapped. Oh my God. So that's what I'm here to discuss tonight, folks. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Y'all do me a favor and drop a like on the video, man. Shout out to Iron Man. We got Armani. What's going on, man? We got BS for you. Unforgiven Sounds. What up, man? We got the Brooklyn Prophet, Dat Manti, Alan Code, or whatever your name is, Alan 5323. You said Brunson is not better than Luka. Stop this BS, bro. You're a trolling hater. Let's see how he does against the Thunder.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Hey, Alan, I said what I said, pussy.
I said what I said. I said what I said.
We got Tal Assassin. He said, damn, the Cavs just bent over and said, slap my cheeks. Yeah, that's crazy. You said Luka has already played alongside two better guards in Kyrie and Brunson. Bron never had an equal. Okay. We got Jay Dixon. He says the Cavs should trade James Frauden to Phoenix. He said Brunson and Porzingis about to win a chip before Luka. He was holding them back. Exactly. We got Mike 298. What's going on? We got T-Mac. What up, man? Shout out all things basketball. He said Puka looks like a real hillbilly. He said that's hilarious. I just woke up in the third quarter and it was belt to ass. You said LeBron to the Knicks. I think that ship has sailed, dude. I think that ship has sailed. So yeah, folks. Shout out to the Kobe. You said Trevor Lane said recently that Luka would be upset if they don't bring back Aston. Luka didn't want Dallas to let go of Brunson, and they did. Okay, sure. We got V's. What's going on, man? We got Internet Blakes. What's going on, nigga? We got JJ said, remind you, Luka went to the finals and lost, but these Luka fans are mad about Brunson going. Exactly. We got Royal War. What up, man? We got League Brema. What's going on, man? You said this is a racist-ass channel. Okay. Well, once again, dude, like I said, you know, I love sticking BBC deep off into Snow Bunny pussy, dude. So I don't know where you got racism from, dude. You know? I mean, I'm actually actively, you know, trying to integrate, you know, my BBC into as many, you know, Snow Bunny pogs as I can possibly find. So I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're a freaky frog.
I mean, I go pog hunting every day. In all honesty. Seriously. I'm always in your local Target, your local Walmart, your local grocery store, your local Ross, your local TJ Maxx, right? That's where you can find me, you know, during the week. I'm in there hunting for pogs. Seriously. So, like I said, I don't know where you got this racism crap from, but you must be on the wrong channel, dude. Like I said, I love sticking, you know, BBC deep off into pink snow bunny coochie. So, there's that. Now, let's get into this game, folks. Let's get into this game. Once again, I'm not going to sit up here and do some, you know, deep dive on this game because I didn't watch it, right? I didn't watch this game at all. You know, like I told you guys, this has been one of the most boring series I've probably ever seen. Every game of this series I fell asleep on. You know, Cleveland is just a disgrace. You know, they thought they had something, but without LeBron James, the city of Cleveland is pretty worthless. You know, I've never had any desire to go to Cleveland. You know, I remember the famous quote from Joakim Noah back in the day. He said, "What's so great about Cleveland?" You know, I agree with Joakim Noah. You know, the greatest thing about Cleveland is LeBron James, right? I mean, he's synonymous with the city of Cleveland. And if he's not attached to it, if he's not a part of it, you know, they don't have a city, right? I think they call it the mistake by the lake. And that's what they're going to be as long as LeBron James is not playing for the Cavaliers. So, yeah, they're a complete disgrace. Trading for James Harden made no sense. You should have kept Darius Garland. He's younger. And, yeah, trading for James Harden, I mean, that's just stupid. You know, I don't get that trade. You know, it didn't make any sense to me. Trade for an old nigga. You know, James Harden is done, man. You know, like I said, he's a finesser. He's a scammer. He's just like Luka, right? He's a scam artist. He knows how to scam the NBA. You know, he plays the game, right? He plays the game within the game, which is, you know, I'm going to, you know, dribble the air out the basketball. I'm going to score a bunch of points. But in reality, I'm not as good as the numbers indicate. And this is why I tell you guys, analytics a lot of the time are bullshit, right? You see guys, you know, on Twitter every day, and they're sitting here talking about, oh, Austin Reeves scored 20 against the Thunder. It's like, dude, number one, he got swept. So, you know, him scoring 20 points is irrelevant because none of those 20 points contributed to a victory. So, yeah, the analytics, you know, I mean, a lot of the time they're extremely pointless. You know, if your team isn't successful, right? So, you know, James Harden is one of these guys, you know, he benefited from the analytical era. You know, obviously Daryl Morey, his GM, his lover, his husband, you know, you guys remember they broke up publicly a few years ago when James Harden, I think, went to China. And he basically said, you know, Daryl Morey's a liar. And, you know, I'm never going to play for Daryl Morey again. Right, so they had a public breakup, you know, in front of the whole world, and it was kind of disgusting. But yeah, Daryl Morey, he's another one of these analytical nerds that have ruined the sport of basketball. So yeah, he's pathetic too. So yeah, I'm glad that this whole analytical era is kind of dying out, folks, and we're getting back to real basketball with real hoopers, right? A lot of you people out there, you know, pretending like you know basketball because you go on StatMuse, you go on Basketball Reference. Like, we have to stop this stuff. At the end of the day, you know, I don't care about your stats if, you know, you're not winning. Okay? James Harden, like I said, he got all the stats in the world, and he can kiss my black ass. You want to know why? Because whenever we need him the most, whenever we get to the playoffs, and it's Game 6, and it's Game 7, and it's time to win, he never shows up. He's a scam artist. He's not a winner. And that's fine. He made his money, and that's cool. God bless him. Fuck him. It is what it is, folks. We got Top Fly High. What's going on, man? We got Unforgiving Sounds with the $2 super chat.
Rolling Stone. Please don't tell me that was you saying the 96 Sonics. This is what you got to realize, Judah. It's very easy to out-debate locker room. It's not very challenging whatsoever. The fact that you let locker room outwit you and out-debate you, it says a lot. We're not talking about a very high-level basketball mind, and you got outwitted by the locker room.
I learned the game from some heavyweights, catching buses, making change from another place.
Folks, you guys remember when that clown? Does anybody remember when that clown went on his pod trash over there on FYF, and he said that nobody chokes? Does anybody remember that? Where's JJ at? JJ, you remember when that clown went on FYF and said nobody chokes? He said Harden's not a choker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Nobody chokes. You're right. Fuck out of here. Okay, we got Unforgiven Sounds. He says LA just lost LeBron to the Cavs or DC with this sweep. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. I don't like Cleveland for LeBron at this point. I don't like it. You know, I heard Mad Dog Russo, Chris Mad Dog Russo. He went on First Take today, and I thought he had a really good take on LeBron going back to Cleveland. He basically said, why would he go back? He's already been there and done that. And I kind of agree. I don't really like the Cleveland situation. You know, their payroll is just too high. Would have to do a lot of, you know, furniture rearranging to be able to get LeBron. I don't really like their pieces, if I'm being honest with you. Like, they got a couple of good pieces, but I'm not sold on like a lot of their talent, man. You know, they're very top heavy. You know, the back half of that roster is very disgusting. I mean, you know, and then once again, too many white dudes, right? Like Dean Wade, Sam Merrill, Max Strus. Like, come on, man. We got to get serious at a certain point, man. So, nah, man, you know, no white dudes if I'm LeBron James, right? I mean, you know, I showed you guys a little bit earlier who the Lakers are planning to work out. They're planning to work out another cracker, right? Another saltine. So, like I said, you know, the Lakers, they've completely lost the plot as it pertains to the NBA. They've got no clue what they're doing. So, you know, if I'm LeBron James, I want to go to a team where there's, you know, bare minimum, no more than one or two white boys. Anything more than that, it's just overkill. I mean, it's just pointless, and I just think Cleveland has just too many saltines on their roster. You know, 3 is too much. You know, like I said, when we won the championship back in 2019, 2020, we only had one saltine, and his name was Alex Caruso. So, yeah, Cleveland, I'm not pushing for Cleveland this summer. I'm just not. I don't like what I saw from them. I don't like the fight that they showed in this series. I don't like Cleveland. And you know, and then you still got Dan Gilbert over there. You know, like I said, he's a total Karen. You know, this dude wrote a letter about my GOAT 15, 16 years ago. So yeah, I'm good on Dan Gilbert, man. I'm good on that racist Dan Gilbert. I'm good, man. So yeah, you guys won't be hearing me push for Cleveland this summer. I'm not impressed with anything they've done. I don't even know if they have any assets, any picks or anything. So yeah, I'm good on Cleveland, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm good on that. But let's get into the game though, folks. Once again, you know, this is a really good Knicks team, right? Think about how great of a Knicks team this is, folks. When they beat the Cavaliers by 37, right? They win the game by 37, and Jalen Brunson only has 15 points, right? Jalen Brunson only has 15 points, you know, 6 of 14 from the field, which is diabolically nasty. Well, not diabolically nasty. It's just nasty. You know, I won't add diabolically to it. Just nasty, though. You know, nasty game, nasty night. You know, you expect a little bit more from Jalen Brunson. I don't even think he played the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, folks. Mikal Bridges, 4 for 16, folks. That's disgusting. You know, that's 25%. 1 for 8 from a three-point line. I mean, that's absolutely filthy. Josh Hart, 6 points. I mean, that's just nasty. He's out there running around. Cat, he was efficient. 8 of 11, 19 points. OG, 6 of 13 for 17 points. So, yeah, you know, got some production from Landry Shamet. He was shooting the hell out the ball, you know, this series. 4 for 4 tonight from 3, 16 points off the bench. So he led the bench scoring. I don't know any of these niggas on their bench either, so I don't really I'm not even going to mention their names because I don't know those niggas like that. It is what it is. So, like I said, then you get to Cleveland. I mean, this is a disgrace, man. This is a disgrace. James Harden, 2 of 8 and 0 for 6, dude. Like, just retire, man. At this point, just retire. Like, James Harden is he's just pathetic at this point. I mean, if LeBron James did that, y'all would be saying he needs to hang it up and he's washed. Like, why aren't we keeping the same energy for James Harden? Like, you're done, dude. Like, it's okay. You know, you made plenty of money. Like, the jig is up. The jig is up. You know, I don't know why these dudes don't want to hang it up. You want to know what I think it is, too? Because a lot of these dudes in James Harden, he's like a big trick, man. He's a big trick. He loves tricking off on these hoes. So, you know, these dudes want to scam the NBA for as long as possible so they can make sure, you know, they got enough money to trick off on these sluts and these whores. No, dude. Like, enough's enough, man. You know, enough's enough. Like seriously, collectively, the NBA has to take a stand against this dude. Like, at this point, you got to come off the bench, man. Like, I'm talking veteran minimum contract, $2 million a year, and you got to take a bench role. Seriously. Like, you got to go back to where you started, and that's off the bench. Because this is just ridiculous. You know, 12 points, 2 of 8, 0 for 6. Like, what are you doing out there? I mean, really, what are you doing? This is just nasty, dude. So, yeah, pack James Harden the fuck up, man. Evan Mobley, you know, he's very mediocre. 15 points. He's mid. And then I heard him speaking the other day. I don't think I ever heard his voice before. I was a little bit surprised. I'm like, wow, he sounds like a bitch. You know? He sounds like a bitch. Have any of you guys heard this nigga talk before? Like, he sounds like very feminine. I don't know. I was a little bit surprised. I never heard him speak before. I heard him talk the other day. I was like, wow. Nigga sounds like he's a BAN. So that was a little bit concerning, you know. You know, I don't want my GOAT playing with, you know, BANs, you know. You guys know what a BAN is? BAN? BAN, bitch ass nigga? Yeah, bitch ass nigga. Yeah, I don't want LeBron playing with bitch ass niggas. So, yeah, I'm good on Evan Mobley, man. Jared Allen, you know, dude's got this big ass afro. Yeah, I'm good on you, dude. 6 points, closeout game, making 20-something million dollars a year. Yeah, you're overpaid, buddy. You're overpaid. And that's the problem with Cleveland. You know, their payroll is ridiculously high for no reason. You know, most of these guys are just not that good, you know. They're overrated, right? Jared Allen, overrated. Evan Mobley, overrated. James Harden, overrated. Donovan Mitchell, overrated, right? This is why I tell you guys what OKC is doing right now, what the Spurs are doing right now. Folks, this is the new way to build teams, man. You got to get guys on cheap contracts that can overperform their contract. Look at AJ Mitchell. Look at Jared McCain, right? Gone are the days of, like, giving these bums $30 million. Like, you can't win paying bums $30 million. This is why I tell you guys the Lakers are fucked if they pay Ashton. He's a bum. If anything, the Lakers should learn, right? You should learn from a team like the Cavaliers, man. Look at all these bums they've overpaid. Jared Allen is a bum. I mean, let's just be honest. He's a bum. Donovan Mitchell, like, he's living off of, you know, his rookie season. I've never seen this before. I've never seen a nigga literally get to live off his rookie season for his entire career. He's been in the league 10 years now. Nigga getting $40, $50 million to do what? He's overrated. He's not producing to the level of his contract. This is the problem. Exactly, Pacey. And the East sucks. How you can't get to the finals in the East? You've had the number 1 team in the East before. You've had the number 1 team in the West before. He's a regular season merchant. When the games don't count, he's an all-star. He's a superstar. Then when the lights come on in the playoffs, he folds. He's another James Harden. So like I said, Faker fans, I got news for you. If you pay Ashton just like they do, it's over. You said I just left a panel where they are praising Mike Brown, saying he got to the finals without LeBron, saying that he had no great coaches? Oh, okay. I don't know what panel you were on, dude. I mean, I don't... Okay. That's interesting, I guess. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, folks, like I said, Cleveland, I mean, it's just a shitty roster to me. You're overpaying these dudes for no reason. I mean, you got Max Strus, 5 points, dude. You're at home. Like, you're a role player. Role players need to play well at home. 5 points for Max Strus. Look at this saltine, chat. Look at this saltine. What I tell you, man, these saltines are garbage, dude. You guys think it's just the Lakers. No, look at these saltines. Dean Wade. Look at this saltine. What are you doing? 12 minutes? You got as many points as everybody that's watching? You're out there running around. They're paying, chat, the NBA be paying these niggas to run around, man. To get some cardio in. What the fuck is this saltine doing out there? Sam Merrill, he's out here running around with an arm sleeve on like he's fucking, Ray Allen. He got his arm sleeve on. He think he cold. Sam Merrill, the other saltine. Look, 18 minutes, 5 points. You guys got to realize, dude, the playoffs are about physicality. You can't have saltines on the floor. They're weak. Seriously, chat. The saltines are weak. Look at the NFL. Do you see the saltines playing any skill positions? How many saltines are DBs? How many? How many saltines are wide receivers or running backs? Cornerbacks? How many? Folks, at some point, we have to have honest conversations, man. This isn't hockey. This isn't baseball. Yeah, the saltines are good at baseball. They're good at hockey. Stay over there. Stay over there. But when y'all want to bring the saltines into the NBA and the NFL, I mean, what are we doing? If you're trying to win, why are you signing these dudes? This is why I told y'all, Cleveland, what are you doing? If you're serious about winning, you don't... Why are you signing Sam Merrill? Why do you have Dean Wade? Why is Max Strus in your starting lineup? Okay. You see the Knicks starting lineup? Where do you see a saltine? Look at their starting lineup. You don't see a saltine. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby. You don't see saltines. You guys been watching the OKC series? You guys see what they're calling Chet now? They're saying Chet, even Chet is overrated. Everybody been talking trash about Chet now. Chet been an all-star. He been all NBA. Everybody's like, nah, man, Chet is overrated. He's a saltine. You people still don't get it, do you? You people still don't get it, man. It's okay. You'll get it sooner or later. You'll get it. You'll get it, man. Okay, so once again, let's get on with the title of the show, folks. Jalen Brunson. Okay. Let me show you guys this, folks. Jalen Brunson. This dude, he is approaching legendary status. Well, he's already a New York City legend. Let me give you guys a story. So the year was 2021, right? The year was 2021. And, I went to New York, right? I went to New York and, I went to New York from Philly, caught the bus from Philly to New York, about an hour and a half ride. Probably went and saw my sister or something. I don't remember what I was doing up there. I don't know, just hanging out, right? Whatever. So on my way back, right, the bus that I was catching back to Philly was right by Madison Square Garden, right? So I'm walking by Madison Square Garden, and I'm literally right outside of Madison Square Garden. And somebody pulls up and yells out their car, "Fuck Trae Young!" Right? Somebody yelled out, "Fuck Trae Young." Okay. Now, if you guys remember, I believe that was the year Trae Young turned the lights out in the Garden. And I believe that's the year the Hawks went to the conference finals. Right? So that right there let me know, Trae Young, he was making some noise, folks. He was making some noise, right? To go up there and to hear somebody yell out, "Fuck Trae Young," in New York, it let me know that, number one, their fans take this stuff seriously. And it also let me know that Trae Young, man, he's not bad, right? But obviously that was 5 years ago. Now, I'm completely out on Trae Young. He sucks. That was the COVID year anyway. So yeah, that was 5 years ago. Anyways, right? So, the New York Knicks as a franchise, pretty much my entire, life have been a joke. I started watching the NBA early 2000s, right? Shaq and Kobe, Lakers. So, 1999, I was 5. I didn't see the Knicks versus the Spurs series, right? I don't remember that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't even remember that. So yeah, that was the last time the Knicks made the finals. They had a decent run when Carmelo Anthony, went to the Knicks. They were a pretty good team. Every time they got to the playoffs, though, they got exposed. I believe LeBron and the Heat one year beat them. Maybe it was 2012, 2013. They beat them in the first round. So yeah, they were never really a good playoff team. And then Melo kind of fizzled out in New York, and they went through a pretty rough stretch over the next few years. And they've been pretty sorry, right? But folks, it all changed for the New York Knicks a few years ago, back in 2022. When they acquired the 2018 second-round pick, Jalen Brunson. Now, folks, if you guys remember the 2018 NBA draft, right? Who went number 3 overall to the Hawks, folks? Yeah, who went number 3 overall to the Hawks? That would have been Luka, right? Yeah. He was traded to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Trae Young. So Luka got traded on draft night. He got traded on draft night. Then, a few years later, he gets traded again to the Los Angeles Lakers. So, Luka's been traded twice now. Okay? Now, once again, Jalen Brunson, same draft class, 2018, but not the first round. He was a second round pick, 33rd pick overall. So he goes with Luka to the Dallas Mavericks, right? This is 2018. Then we get to 2022. We get to the playoffs. Luka gets hurt. Jalen Brunson steps up. And the Mavericks that year get all the way to the conference finals. Then, ladies and gentlemen, what happens? Jalen Brunson then signs with the New York Knickerbockers. Okay? Jalen Brunson signs with the New York Knickerbockers. Luka gets Kyrie Irving. They go on a run to the NBA Finals where they get clapped in 5 games by the Boston Celtics. Luka won 1 game in the playoffs, in the finals that year, excuse me. He won 1 finals game. They lost in 5, right? That brings us to today. So as you guys know, the New York Knicks are in the finals for the first time since 1999. And I want to give a special shout out to Jalen Brunson, man. I want to give a special shout out to Jalen Brunson. We got Stephen A. Smith acting a complete fool on Twitter. Let's take a listen real quick, folks, to Stephen A. Smith.
Finally, 27 years. 27 years. And we here. We here. And we ain't finished. We ain't finished. I said we gonna go to the finals. We going to the finals. We gonna win the finals. We gonna win the finals. Go New York, go New York, go! Contain myself. We go for more. Yeah.
So yeah, this is everybody's favorite coon uncle, Stephen A. Smith. You guys can see your coon ass uncle, folks. He's pretty excited. He's pretty excited. And like I said, you know, me being born in New York, you know, I think this is amazing. I do. You know, the Knicks are a marquee franchise to me. And I think the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. You know, they're one of the teams in the NBA, and Laker fans, you guys can learn a thing or two from Knicks fans. You know, this is a real fan base, right? The Knicks have a real fan base. They deserve this, right? They do. They deserve it. They appreciate good basketball. That's one thing I'll say about Knicks fans, you know. You know, other fan bases, you know, like the Lakers, for example, I mean, you people are sick, man. You know, the stuff that we've endured, you know, as a LeBron James fan, right?
LeBron fans.
The stuff that we've endured over the last, you know, 8 years with you people. I mean, it's just, it's disgusting. It honestly is. It's very disgusting. And, you know, I wish LeBron never would have took his ass to the Lakers. I really do. But it is what it is. You know, Kobe was talking shit, so I guess LeBron had to prove a point. And, according to some people, they said he sacrificed Kobe, I don't know that to be true, but it is what it is. That's what they say. But yeah, so these were my thoughts about an hour ago, folks. I said if Jalen Brunson, right, wins a championship, he's better than Luka. Matter of fact, if Jalen Brunson wins 2 games in the finals, he's better than Luka. Folks, once again, all right, it's time that we have an honest conversation about Luka Doncic at this point. Now that Jalen Brunson has gotten to the finals, right, this is 2 former teammates now of Luka, Kristaps Porzingis and now Jalen Brunson. 2 former teammates have now gotten to the finals without Luka Doncic. Okay? Now, Nico might have traded Luka because maybe he felt like, damn, I'm building around the wrong guy. Did you guys ever think about that before you called Nico stupid? Maybe Nico Harrison, folks, came to the realization, wait a second, man, did I pick the wrong guy to build around? I let Jalen Brunson walk to New York for nothing, basically. And here I am trying to build a team around Luka? We got Nick T. He says he's better than Luka because he beat the Celtics last year. You said, I honestly don't care about any team left in the playoffs, but I can actually see the Knicks winning the finals. You said Knicks will lose anyway? I don't know, man. I mean, they've won, 11 straight games? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be rooting for them. I'm going to be rooting for them for sure. I'm not rooting for OKC. So I'm going to have to root for the Knicks. So hopefully, Jalen Brunson doesn't let me down. This series between San Antonio and OKC is going to be a heavyweight fight. So hopefully, they tire each other out. And, yeah, I think if the Knicks win, it'll be a great story. I really do. I think it'll be a great story. And I think Jalen Brunson, I heard conversations about Jalen Brunson, if he wins a championship, will he be the greatest Knick of all time? I definitely think it'll be a conversation for sure. You say, where's Nico now? Well, once again, right? This is how things go in corporate America, right? We saw it with Magic Johnson. We see it with Nico Harrison. It's all fun and games when, blacks get traded, right? It's all fun and games then. But as you guys can see, as soon as you trade everybody's favorite, saltine, everybody's favorite white boy, people, they start rioting the streets. I mean, that's what happened, in Dallas. They started rioting the streets of Dallas, folks. They started chimping out, right? It's funny how, Chud the Builder goes around saying, the blacks are chimping out, but did you guys see what the whites did when Nico Harrison traded that white boy? They started chimping out, folks. They started rioting the streets of Dallas. Nico had to hire security. I mean, it was insane. No GM has ever had to look over his shoulder for trading a player, right? That's part of the job description. But the whites started chimping out and, they had to fire Nico, right? They had to let him go, probably for his safety, You said the Spurs and the Thunder are not the Cavs, dude. The Knicks might get swept. Okay. I'm still going to root for them. Like I said, I don't care, dude. I told you guys this on the show we did last night. I don't give a shit. I'm a LeBron fan. You know, I don't give a shit who wins. Honestly, I could care less. I'm not losing no sleep if SGA wins another one, if Wemby wins, or if Brunson wins. I'm not losing no sleep over this shit. None of this affects my GOAT's legacy. Seriously, so I don't care who wins. How does Jalen Brunson winning affect LeBron's legacy? It doesn't. So I don't really care. We got Xavier. He says Brunson has the right team constructed around him. He had 15 points tonight on bad shooting. Well, so did Luka. He had the right team constructed around him too. And what happened? He got clapped in 5. He said that boy Nico couldn't sleep at night after seeing Porzingis win a chip and Brunson being an all-star while the white boy was stinking it up. That's why that nigga had to that's why he had to pack that nigga up. He had to pack that nigga up once Porzingis won. He had to pack Luka up once Porzingis beat him. That was the final straw. He was like, man, I'm finna get this cracker up out of here, dude. You're exactly right. He said that boy Nico couldn't sleep at night after seeing Porzingis win a chip and Brunson be an all-star while the white boy was stinking it up in Dallas. That is exactly the truth. That is so true. He couldn't sleep. It ate him up at night. That's crazy. He said rooting for the American-led team is the patriotic thing to do. You said if the refs don't help, Spurs in 6. Pacey, you said, yeah, I was thinking about that. Brunson's probably going to be the greatest Knick if he wins, considering the circumstances. We got Vic. You said Jalen Brunson is better than Luka. Knicks is going to win the finals. It doesn't matter if they play against the Thunder or the Spurs. Wow. Nico saw his former 2 players being stars on other teams. Wow. That's crazy. He was like, nah. I got to get this dude up out of here. That is so true, man. That's crazy work. We got Xavier. You said Luka was clapped in 5 versus Boston. Luka would have clapped the 26 Cavs. Well, Xavier, like somebody said in the chat earlier, Jalen Brunson beat the Celtics. And I'm gonna be honest, Xavier. I think you're overvaluing Luka. I really do. I think you're overvaluing Luka. Like I said, you know, his defensive, you know, impact on a team. I mean, it's negative. It's extremely negative. You know. I mean, we see it with Aston. You know, Aston is another. He's a Timu Luka. I mean. He's another one, you know. Yeah, okay, he scores 20 and then gives up 25. It's the same thing with Luka. Okay, he scores 30 and gives up 35. Like, you can't win like that. You know what I mean? You just can't win like that. I think we have enough evidence at this point to be like, yeah, I don't think you can win with Luka. I think there's enough evidence out there. I mean, this dude is not a rookie anymore. You know, if he was a rookie, 2nd, 3rd year, okay, sure. Build the right team around him and, you know, let's see what we can do. But at this stage in his career, you know, I mean, the dude's going on, you know, a decade in the NBA. He's pushing 30. You know, he's been here a while now. Like, you know, I don't think people are being disingenuous by coming to the conclusion that maybe you just can't win with the guy. You know, I don't think that that's a disingenuous, assumption. I think that that's very fair. I think it's very fair. He said Luka is ass on a stick, the stick with the nail that you pick up the trash with, just ass. You said in the mayonnaise media will say he was the defensive player of the month in March to argue that? He said Don C is out of here?
Before I get to the basketball game, because I hate that I got to keep doing this. For all you goofy ass niggas in the chat, right? Some of you niggas is weird. Y'all be name calling me, right? Just keep that same energy if you ever see me. That's all I'm going to say. Because some of y'all going to slap the fuck out of you. That's word to my mother.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now that Jalen Brunson has reached the finals with his new team, I think we can pretty much say he's better than Luka at this point. I mean, I don't see how you can definitively say Luka is better. I mean, what has Luka done that Jalen Brunson hasn't done? They both got to a conference finals, and now they both have reached the NBA finals now. So, what has Luka done that Jalen Brunson hasn't done? Like you guys can see by the title of the show, the thumbnail, folks, I mean, if Jalen Brunson wins a championship, he's better than Luka. Matter of fact, if he wins 2 games in the finals, he's better than Luka. Because Luka only won 1 game in the finals, folks. He only won 1 game. If Jalen Brunson can get at least 2 games, I mean, we got to just start calling a spade, man. We got to start calling a spade a spade. We got Xavier. You're still in here capping for Luka. Okay. We got Xavier. You said that team, the Knicks, was built to beat the Celtics. Okay. Sure. Spent a ton on defensive wings. Luka is on a different planet than Brunson. Luka made it to the finals scoring 15 in the clinching game. No, he might not have scored 15, but Kyrie Irving was a big reason that the Mavericks were able to beat the Timberwolves, Xavier. I mean, do you really want to go down this rabbit hole, Xavier? Xavier, do you seriously want to go down this rabbit hole? Kyrie Irving averaged 27 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds in 5 games against the Timberwolves in the conference finals, shooting 49% from the field. Now, you tell me, Xavier, who does Jalen Brunson have on the Knicks right now that's averaging 27, 5, and 4 versus Cleveland? Like I said, Xavier, I don't think you want to go down this rabbit hole, dude. You might want to leave this one alone. It's gonna get nasty for you. It's gonna get nasty. We got Poll with the $5 super chat. What's going on, man?
I'm a Rolling Stone.
Austin Reeves. Foul baiter.
He said on a side note, Reddit Lakers banned me for making a post criticizing AR and calling them out. It's literally taboo criticizing him, a bunch of snowflakes. Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen, dude. Whenever you go against the mainstream narrative, they're going to get you up out the way, dude. So you found that out today, man. You found that out today. We're the only platform that allows people to speak freely. If you go to like the mayonnaise media platforms, they don't do phone calls. They don't allow people to speak. They basically tell you guys what the narrative is. They tell you guys what to think. And when you start thinking for yourself, they have to get you up out the way. They block you, they time you out. They get you up out the way. They can't have you over there thinking for yourself. Okay? They can't have you over there thinking for yourself. We got Xavier. You said and Luka? Okay, that's fine. We can look up Luka's numbers versus versus who? The Timberwolves. I'm a fair guy, Xavier. Like I said, I'm not here to take anything away from these dudes. Yeah, Luka averaged 32, 10, and 8. He shot 47% from the field and 43% from three-point range. Yeah. Yeah, he played well. If only he would have played this well in the finals, they might have won the championship. But we all know what happened. We all know what happened. But once again, right? We're not going to sit up here and act like, once again, this dude didn't have help. He had the help. I would argue Luka's second option, Kyrie, is better than any second option Jalen Brunson has on the Knicks right now. That's all I'm saying. And once again, I think that that's fair. I mean, I don't think many people would disagree with that. You said Trevor Lane, the most robotic sounding motherfucker I've heard? Yeah, I mean that's your boy though. That's your boy. You said Brunson is an elite playmaker and controls the game. Luka is a scorer with no defense. You said Luka's numbers kind of have some King James on it? Okay. Once again, Xavier. It's funny to me how we have to go back to 2024. You do realize, Xavier, this says 2024 on it, right? What this is a what are you doing for me now league, Xavier. I don't understand why we have to keep going back to 3 years ago for you guys to make an argument for Luka. Jalen Brunson is in the finals right now. Luka was there 3 years ago. So it's just like, I don't know, man. We got to stop this stuff at some point. Like, you guys can't keep living off of, I mean, I remember when, Xavier, you're a LeBron guy, right? Like, I remember when LeBron got to the finals in 2007. Like, we weren't still bringing that up in 2010, Like, we had completely moved on from that. It's just like, y'all bringing up stuff from 3 years ago. It's like, at what point are we going to move on from that? You know what I mean? Y'all do the same thing with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell been living off his rookie season run. It's like, dude, at what point are you going to update your resume? You can't keep living off stuff you did 10 years ago. We got Top Fly High. He says, can't believe people still believe offense wins championships. Yeah, I mean, and once again, Xavier, I don't know why you're bringing up Curry. I just don't understand how are you mentioning Curry in the same breath as Luka? I mean, don't you find that a little bit disrespectful to Steph Curry? I know I do. Steph Curry is a 2-time MVP. He's universally regarded as one of the greatest shooters of all time. I don't think it's fair that you're mentioning Steph Curry in this conversation. He's not in that conversation. That's why I brought up Jalen Brunson, because this is the conversation he's in. He's in the Jalen Brunson conversation. And I'm here making the argument that now that Jalen Brunson has gotten to the finals, I believe he's past Luka. He's done everything Luka has done. Luka got to the conference finals, so did Jalen Brunson. Luka got to the NBA finals, so has Jalen Brunson. And if we're being honest, what Jalen Brunson is doing is more impressive because he's a second-round pick. He's a second-round pick, folks. We can't forget that. He said you nor anyone in this chat would take Brunson over Luka. Xavier, yo, you got to stop this, dude. I'm taking Jalen Brunson. What are you talking about? I'm taking Jalen Brunson right now over Luka. Yo, Xavier, you're my guy, but like I said, you've been on this Luka bandwagon, this Luka train for just far too long, dude. You gotta let this thing go, dude. You're from Detroit and you're a LeBron fan. What is this infatuation you have with Luka? I don't understand this, Xavier. I really don't. This is getting a little bit bizarre at this point. He's gotten lapped by SGA, who was in the same draft class as him, and now he's getting lapped by Jalen. Don't let Jalen Brunson win a ring. He's lapping Luka if he wins a ring too. He said, "You sure that's not Don C?" Nah, that's not Don C, man. I'm still looking for Don C. I need my money.
Before I get to the basketball game, because I hate that I got to keep doing this. For all you goofy ass niggas in the chat, right? Some of you niggas is weird. Y'all be name calling me, right? Just keep that same energy if you ever see me. That's all I'm gonna say. Because some of y'all gonna slap the fuck out of you. That's word to my mother.
Folks, we've got to stop the buffoonery at some point, man. This man said Brunson isn't top 10. I mean, come on, Xavier. What is with this Brunson hate tonight? Yo, Xavier, you're crashing out, man. Yo, Jalen Brunson just got his team to the finals, and this man that says Brunson ain't top 10. Yo, Xavier, you shooting bricks tonight, my guy. I ain't gonna lie, Xavier. You shooting bricks tonight. You're like 0 for 3 tonight from the field, Xavier, with your takes. Yo, you gotta stop this, Xavier. Yo, Xavier, you shooting bricks, bruh. I can't hold you. You shooting bricks tonight. These takes are atrocious. Nah, this can't be my guy, Xavier. Somebody done hacked my nigga Xavier's YouTube channel. Nah, somebody done hacked. Nah, that's not Xavier, bruh. There's no way. That's...
LeBron fans.
Gonna have me on a late night mission, pulling up.
Nah, somebody done hacked my nigga Xavier. That's not Xavier, chat. Nah, there's no way. That's not Xavier. Nah, that can't be Xavier. Nah, there's no way. I don't know who that is playing on my nigga Xavier's account, but y'all need to stop it. Cause yeah, there's somebody gotta be hacking his account saying this crazy shit. This dude said my money is on Wemby and SGA. Keep crying. Dude, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care who wins, bro. Like, I'm not gonna say it again. I don't care if Wemby, SGA, or Jalen Brunson wins, dude. Like, seriously, leave me alone at this point. Like, I've said it numerous times. I said it last night on the show we did last night. Like, bro, I don't care. I'm a LeBron James fan, bro.
LeBron fans.
I don't care about none of these niggas and their legacy and them winning a championship. I don't care. Okay, shout out to Polestar with the $5 super chat.
I know I've been away.
Austin Reeves.
I'm just trying to
Vader.
get my paper straight, girl. Don't give my shit away. I'm just trying to get my paper straight, girl.
He said, I had a LA fan tell me Luka is as dominant as Shaq. I lost it. LOL. Bro, like I said, you're torturing yourself at this point, you know, arguing with Luka fans. I mean, they're diabolically insane, you know? I mean, I don't even know how you could fix your mouth to even say some stupid shit like that, right? I mean, Luka's going to be, what, in year 9 next year? The next time we see Luka, he'll be in year 9. By year 9, Shaquille O'Neal, let's see, drafted in what, 92? Drafted in 92, won an MVP in 2000, won the championship in 2000, won the finals MVP in 2000, and that's year 8. So by year 9, he was an MVP of the league. He was a 2-time champion, 2-time finals MVP. Yeah, I mean, that like, people are just, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. You know, but once again, we're in the analytical era. You know, people put fake stats above everything now. You know, they don't even care about winning anymore. Right? Like, it's all about how many points somebody scores now. Basketball conversations are completely cooked. It's no longer about winning. It's more so about, you know, fake numbers and fake statistics than anything. You know, that's all these dudes do. James Harden, Luka, this is what these dudes do. They go out there in the regular season, they put up fake stats, fake numbers. When the games don't matter, they look like all-stars, they look like superstars. And then you get to a game 6 or a game 7, and James Harden goes missing. It's like, yo, dude, where's the MVP at? Like, weren't you the MVP? Weren't you an MVP candidate? Where'd you go? He goes missing. But once again, y'all keep overinflating these fake stats. Oh, he's better than D Wade. Like, are we serious? Are we serious, man? Like, better than Dwayne Wade? I mean, come on, man. That's just insanity. Better than Dwayne Wade. Okay. Yeah, sure he is. Sure.
I went in the locker room trying to show him love. He dissed me. He threw shade at me. I'm like, what the fuck I do? You feel me? Like, if you he played half the clip. His little minions over here trashing me and shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then he said I'm trying to class chase off him. Class chase off you? Nigga, who the fuck are you? Like, who are you?
What's up, nephew? Man, why you let that old tootsie little punk boy get to you like that, man? And look, let me just get straight to the point, because you like me, and I'm ain't it was no hidden secret. I done did it on my stream too. The boy is a punk, man. He's an arrogant little sissy. He's a two-way player, bro. The boy is gay. Seriously, he's that little fuck boy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. We got over. Yeah, we got a lot of people listening right now on Twitter. Y'all do me a favor, man. Come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, come in the chat, man, and let's talk about it, man. We got Polestar with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, man.
LeBron fans.
Gonna have me on a late night mission, pulling up.
We got Polestar. You said his exact words were, Luka is as dominant as Shaq. Need to find his Kobe. Also, send your screenshot of Convo with Mod. The AR snowflakes are nuts. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. Hey, Ryan, quit tagging me, dude. I'm about to block you. You don't gotta tag me, bro. I don't care about your chat, you know? I don't care to see your message, dude. Like, you know, if you want your message to be acknowledged, send a super chat or get out the chat. Don't tag me. I don't even know you. Okay, we got Cole. Shout out to Cole with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, man. You said, hell nah, Trevor Lane ain't my boy. Aston Glazer. Okay, well now Trevor Lane's not your boy. Okay, but you're always there. Okay, now he's not your boy.
Let's go to this one. Jamal Murray won a chip. Don't want to hear it. Oh, I'm assuming that was to your comment, Jason, about other guards that have struggled in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I think that Denver Nuggets team wins the title if Austin Reeves from this year is healthy and in rhythm next to Jokic.
Think this year's Denver Nuggets?
No, from 2023.
Oh, from 2020. Okay, gotcha.
Not to say, like, guys, I do think Jamal Murray is proven to be a better playoff player than Austin. My point is the point I was trying to make is, like, as the league has gotten more physical and the best teams in the league have been so good on defense, skill guards all around the league are struggling. Like, Jalen Brunson is really the only dude who's, like, thriving as, like, a small, unathletic on-ball guard in this environment.
And Jalen Brunson is very, very physically strong. That certainly helps him in that type of situation.
Good point.
Oh, man. Folks, phone lines are open, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Jalen Brunson has surpassed Luka, man. I really do. Matter of fact, let me see what Jalen Brunson is averaging this postseason. Jalen Brunson stats this postseason. Let's see, folks. Jalen Brunson. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, these are Jalen Brunson's numbers, folks. So far, this playoff run. 28, 5, and 7. He has led the Knicks to their first NBA Finals appearance in 27 years and was recently named the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The Knicks have won 11 consecutive games on their way to the finals. Yep, 52% from the field, 41% from three. I mean, once again, these, I mean, folks, like, okay, so yeah, sure. He said Luka averaged 0 this postseason. Exactly. Like, how can we continue to sit up here and say Luka is better than this dude? Luka's been, at the bare minimum, he's caught him. I mean, at the bare minimum, he's caught him. This finals appearance, he's caught Luka. And like I said, you know, if he can win 2 games in the finals, he's passed him. Luka won 1 game in the finals as the head honcho, as the number 1 guy. So if Jalen Brunson can win 2 games in this final, I'm putting him over Luka. I'm putting him over Luka, folks. Phone lines are open. We can't keep living in the past, folks. We can't keep living in the past, man. You know? ...2024 was 3 years ago. That was 3 summers ago, folks. Like, we got to stop this, okay? We got to stop this, folks. Summer 24, summer 25, summer 26. That's 3 years ago. You got to update your resume. You got to consistently be updating your resume. You can't keep living off of what you did 3 years ago and think that's going to fly. It's just not going to fly for me. I'm sorry. You said how many shot attempts? I don't know. Let's see. I have no clue. We got some action. We got Jael. Jael, let me ask you a question. Has Jalen Brown, not Jalen Brown, but Jalen Brunson, has he caught or surpassed Luka to you? What's your thoughts on this?
At the moment, I would say they're about equal because he just now getting to the finals. But yeah, if he get 2 games in the finals, as far as just where he's at in the league, I would say he's better than him. But on another note, I think he's already better than Luka in this sense. He was able to change the way he plays and get off of the ball so they can run the offense through Cat, and it was overall better for the team. Luka can't do that. Luka can't change his game. Luka can't come off of the ball. If he's not the main focus of the offense, then he doesn't work on the court.
That's a good point. We got so top fly high, he shot 19 field goal attempts per game, which is, that's pretty normal for a number one option, 18, 19 a game. But that's actually a very good point, though, that you bring up. So you're saying that the Knicks started to find more success when Jalen Brunson got off the ball a little bit more and they ran the offense through Karl Anthony Towns?
Yes, because Jalen Brunson is still the number one option, but it allows him to be most effective in the situations where he served the Knicks best, which is the clutch. And if he can have Cat be the main focal point of the offense and direct the offense and run things through him, first of all, it's going to keep Cat engaged and keep him focused because, once he wanders, he start making dumb plays on defense, getting bad offensive fouls. So, first of all, you're keeping him locked in the game. You're keeping him involved. You're making him happy because he's getting his shots, and it makes him feel important. And then when it comes down to winning time, Jalen Brunson can go one-on-one if things ain't working out through the rest of the team. He can go one-on-one. He can take control, and it doesn't seem like he's just been dominating the ball the whole game.
We got BS for you in the chat. He says Luka can't defer to teammates. We got Roland. He says facts. Luka sucks off the ball. So basically, what you're telling me, Jael, is Jalen Brunson is a better basketball player than Luka. Because if you're telling me that Luka can only play one way, which is on the ball, but Jalen Brunson can play on ball or he can play off ball and defer to Karl Anthony Towns and still be effective and the team can still be successful, you're basically telling me Jalen Brunson is more skilled at the game of basketball. That's what I believe.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Take this into account. Jalen Brunson can get off the ball and defer to Karl Anthony Towns, even though he knows that he's better than him. But what do you think about Luka's mentality when he can't even get off the ball for LeBron James, the greatest in the game? Think about how selfish that is, bro. LeBron had to be the one to get off the game. Well, first of all, because Luka he can't do anything off of the ball. But if he did have that talent and if he did have that ability, then he would come off of the ball because we would be better served running the offense through LeBron James and then letting Luka be basically what Jalen Brunson is. He still get his numbers. He still get the accolades. He still get to look good, but the overall team looks better.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also think, too, Jalen Brunson's a winner, right? And he did this in college at Villanova. He goes in the second round. I'm pretty sure people probably didn't believe in his NBA, ability. His, probably weren't sure how his game would translate. But, to me, I think, if you're evaluating, players or whatever, winning matters. All these guys, Josh Hart, they all went to Villanova with Jalen Brunson, right? This is basically the NBA version of Villanova. So, I think that's been lost too when we're evaluating these players. It's like, y'all be, like I said, we're living the analytical era where it's like it's all about the analytics. It's all about how many points a guy scores. But we've completely taken winning out of the equation. You know, I don't care. You know, I just put Jalen Brunson's numbers on the screen. You know, he averaged 28. You know, sure. Is it the 34 Luka average? No, it's not the 34, but you know, what would you rather have? A guy that's averaging 28, you know, 5 and whatever, and he's shooting 50%, the team wins, or you rather have a guy shooting, you know, averaging 34, you know, 45% from the field, and your team is going to lose? Like I said, I just think the way that we analyze basketball is just fundamentally flawed these days. You know, I mean, we got people in the chat, Jael, talking about, you know, the numbers all day. It's just like, okay, but what about the results? I care more about the results than I do the number.
Yeah, the winning shows up in the game that they play. For instance, at the end of the year, I remember 2 different games where Luka had a chance at the end of the game to win it with a shot or make a play, and he glitched out. He literally glitched. Like, what the hell are you doing, Luka? And then one of them, he dropped a bomb to LeBron James. It's like, bomb. Like,
Yeah,
what?
you talking about the
glitched.
Orlando? You talking about the Orlando game?
Yeah, Orlando. And then on the opposite end, Jalen Brunson at the end of the game, the winning, like you said, winning 2 championships at Villanova, that winning mentality kicks into play, and he generally makes the right play at the end of the game. Matter of fact, other than LeBron James right now, I don't know if I would want the ball in anybody's hands at the end of crunch time other than Jalen Brunson. Because he's proved the past 3 years that he's just been money in the clutch.
Exactly. And then once again, if you look at the Lakers roster, you know, this is why we won in 2020. Look how many champions you had on the roster. You had, you know, LeBron, JaVale, Rondo, you know, these guys had all won championships. You know what I mean? Dwight Howard took his team to a finals, you know. Danny Green had won titles. J.R. Smith had won titles, right? So it's like, you know, the experience and, you know, knowing what to do in the late game scenarios, having won before, you know, all these things matter. And I just think, you know, when we're looking at Luka, it's like, okay, yeah, he played in the Euro League, but like, so like that's not.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, right? It's not college basketball. It's not the NBA. It's not the NCAA. It's just not, you know. I mean, you know, the Euro League is where guys go when they can't make the NBA. You know, that's where that's where the leftovers go. So, you know, people are like, I guess, trying to give him credit for what he did over there. It's like, no, you got to do that over here. I'm not giving you credit because you won in the Euro League. Like, we don't even watch that stuff. I couldn't tell you one team over there. So for me, Jael, like I said, you know, and this is just me being completely fair. In my mind, I think Jalen Brunson is better than Luka. But I think now that he's, you know, led, I mean, because you got to think too, right? The Mavericks went to the finals in 2011. And they went in 2006. You know? So they had, you know, a certain level of infrastructure for Luka to be successful. But when you look at the Knicks franchise and how destitute they've been, I mean, the last time they went to a finals was 1999. I mean, we're talking the 20th century, right? That's how long ago this was, right? So, you know, all the problems that they've had, you know, with James Dolan and, you know, all the torture Knicks fans have been through, I think this is honestly a bigger feat to me. You know, I think Jalen Brunson getting his team to the finals is a bigger feat than Luka getting the Mavericks to the finals. So
yeah, I think getting Jalen Brunson getting to the finals, just with the way that he's done it over the last 3 years, he's gotten better every year. He's taken his team further in the playoffs every year. You got to put him in the top 10 of small guards. And if he wins an actual championship, you got to put him in the top 5 of small guards of all time. Really.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Realistically, do you think the Knicks have a chance to actually win the finals?
I think they do. I think they actually do, no matter who gets there, because they've already had a good record against San Antonio this year. And though they haven't had the best showing against OKC, they weren't playing this well. Like, they are firing on all cylinders. And when you have the caliber of players that they have, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, all of these guys, these ain't slouches. They ain't nobodies. They're top role players in the league. So when they're firing on all cylinders, running the offense through Cat, keeping the game to a point to where they're not getting blowed out or even got a lead, and then you let Jalen Brunson come in and do his thing, I think that formula can work against either San Antonio or OKC, especially considering Shea ain't been all that this playoffs. Like, for him to have just won his second MVP in a row, he sure has looked bad out there. He looks so bad with the flopping and the foul baiting. It looks so bad. That ain't gonna work against New York.
Yeah, I think they're live in the finals. I'm definitely gonna be pulling for them to win it. You know, just because I don't like OKC. And I believe OKC is gonna eventually win the series versus the Spurs. So I'll be pulling for the Knicks. I do think the Knicks are live right now. If I had to, pick a favorite, I would still probably lean OKC as a favorite. Just because, they're probably going to have home court advantage. I do think they are a deeper team than the Knicks are. But I just think the way the Knicks have been playing right now. But once again, too, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt, too. Because, they beat up on the Hawks. They beat up on Philly. And now they beat up on Cleveland. So, I'm not going to, go overboard with it, right? Because Philly, they haven't been out the second round since 2001 when Allen Iverson took them to the finals. And then, obviously Cleveland's just a dumpster fire. And then the Hawks, the Hawks are the Hawks. So I do think OKC is more battle tested than the Knicks are. Like I said, I do think they're deeper. Coaching, I think coaching's about even. I think the talent, in the starting lineup, it's about even. But I would say OKC edges it out. If I'm Vegas and I gotta pick a favorite, I would say OKC edges it out because they will have home court advantage, and they do have the MVP. He's also a very good player in the clutch too, SGA. So, yeah, I would say OKC would be the favorite, but I would be pulling for the Knicks. And I do think the Jalen Williams injury is going to play a factor, I believe. Him being out with that. Also, AJ Mitchell, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what do you think about this? Because me, just personally, my own thoughts in watching the game, I think Chet is about to be broken. Wemby is breaking Chet. I think OKC gonna have to get off of him if Wemby doing to the end of the series and they end up losing or they barely skirt by because SGA turns into the MVP. I think Chet is broken. I think they're gonna have to get off of him. I think he's scared of Wemby. You'll never be able to get the 100% out of Chet in the West because I think he is scared of Wemby. So if OKC make it to the finals, I think with not being able to count on Chet, I think he'll be broken. Jalen Williams injury, AJ Mitchell, man, that's a lot of that firepower gone. I think Not only would I be rooting for the Knicks, I would probably be betting on the Knicks, hoping that they the underdog. But just thinking what I think about Chet, they would win. Yeah, I think Chet is done. You got to come off of him anyway. Anyway, his contract's about to kick in. They're gonna have to either get rid of Hartenstein. They're gonna have to get rid of Lou Dort. They're gonna have to get rid of Chet. Would be a good trade to kind of get some cap relief, bring in something else. But they got to do something anyway. Might as well capitalize on Chet right now because Wemby is gonna break him by the end of the series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any necessarily shame in that. I mean, Wemby is like, it's just hard to get shots up around him. You know, he's just so long and he just deters anybody trying to shoot the basketball around him. So, I don't know. I do think it's going to be tough if you're Chet to match up with him for the rest of your career. That's going to be tough. But yeah, like I said, I think once you get to the finals, right, just because I'm saying that OKC would be the favorite doesn't mean that New York wouldn't have a chance to win. They would have a chance, you know, because once you get there, you know, you still got to play the game, right? And anything can happen. And like I said, we've seen SGA go 7 games with Halliburton. We got Flame in the chat. He says, you forgot Luka's coach, Carlisle, who reached the finals with Indiana last year. Exactly. So we got Jordan C. He says, yes, Reggie, we got to give Jalen Brunson credit. Yeah, shout out to Jordan C. You said the Cavs sucked. Really thought they would be better. Yeah, so like I said, Jael, we'll see what happens, man. So let me ask you this though, just from like a viewing perspective, who would you rather see, OKC Knicks or San Antonio Knicks?
I would rather see San Antonio. I mean, I just don't like watching OKC play, and it's almost purely because of SGA. Because when the bench is in, the way that they play, the way they run and gun and shoot threes, it's exciting when the bench is in. You just don't really know who none of them are. But the way SGA plays, I hate watching him play. I would rather see the Spurs get to the finals, take their lump, and then come back and be formidable for the next 5 to 7 years than to watch OKC get there and win another one.
Yeah, I think I will say this. I am happy that the Knicks are in the finals because, you know, you got 2 small markets in the Spurs and the Thunder. Because I know last year's finals was just nasty. I mean, you had the Indiana Pacers and the Thunder. I mean, that is filthy. You know, that was a filthy finals, man. Jesus. And then Halliburton tears his Achilles at the end. You know, so I am happy that there is a big marquee team in the finals this year, the Knicks. Like, we need this for the NBA. So I do appreciate the Knicks being there this year, because like I said, last year was nasty. I can't lie to you. I agree with you. I was thinking I'd rather probably see OKC, but you're right. I hate the way they play. So I would probably rather see the Spurs too. I would probably rather see. Let's go ahead and get a rematch at 99. And yeah, because I didn't see that series. I was still a kid, so I don't remember that series. Latrell Sprewell and all them do. I don't remember that series at all. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get the rematch. 2026 version. You said
yeah, and then like you said, it's over for the next 5 to 10 years. Wemby ain't going nowhere. As long as he's in his prime, we probably gonna see San Antonio either in the Western Conference Finals or the Finals. So I would like to see him get there and get those lumps, and I would like to see the Knicks get one before he just start dominating. He could probably literally do 5 to 8 in a row, kind of what LeBron just did. He could do that. I don't see the Spurs just all of a sudden falling off. I don't see him just all of a sudden falling off. Yeah, I think they could get a 5 to 7 year run out of him, and if they really play right with what they got, I think they could get a 8 to 10 out of Wemby and just maximize his whole career. Because I don't really see him play. See Wemby, those big dudes don't really last more than 10 to 13 years. So I'll give him another 8 years at his max if he really takes care of himself. Then another 2 years with Stephon Castle and Vassell and all those guys really carrying him the last couple years. And yeah, seeing him getting a good 12-year career. But out of those 12 years he got left, yeah, he could probably be in the finals 8 of those.
Yeah, we got brother BKL. You said Godspeed home. Eastern Conference needs to respect the orange and blue. Okay. So we got a Knicks fan in the building. All right. Live it up, dude. Like I said, it's been damn near 30 years, man. I'm not going to knock you. You know what I mean? Live it up, my guy. Like I said, I do respect Knicks fans, though. I do appreciate their fan base, though. I like Knicks fans, Philly fans, you know. To me, those are fan bases where it's like they want to see good basketball. You know, they don't care about all that extra stuff. They want to just see good basketball. You said I'm so humble for my Knickerbockers. Your Knickerbockers. Since I was 15 years old, when I watched Melo in downtown. Okay, dude. Congratulations, dude. You know.
Memory lane looking at.
Right, like if you don't get your ass on, man, like, you know. Congratulations, dude. Like, we're happy for you, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, when you starving, you can't wait to eat, man.
Seriously.
These boys out here starving. They starving, man.
When the last time they won? 73? I mean, it's been, what, damn near 50 years. Over 50 years.
50 years.
53 years, yeah. So it's like, okay.
Hey, the last time the Knicks won, the 2026 Lakers would have been viable in the NBA.
Exactly. They were still. That
was the last time you could have ran out a team full of white boys.
Nigga, the last time the Knicks won, Michael Jackson was still a part of the Jackson 5. You know what I mean? He was the lead singer for the Like, seriously. Michael Jackson was probably like 12 years old. Like, he was still the lead singer. Michael Jackson probably hadn't even dropped his debut album yet.
Jeez.
But yeah, we got Xavier. You said I'm convinced. Xavier said I'm convinced people don't actually watch the games. SGA does foul bait. But Luka, Harden, Joker, and Brunson are egregious as well. Yeah. We got Jay Dixon. You said I went back and watched your video on Bron going to the Wizards. I see the vision. Yeah, I think Jael, we might have to do another show on this, but I think the whole idea of LeBron going to Cleveland, I don't like it anymore. What's your thoughts on
that? Never. I never liked the idea of him going back to Cleveland, especially considering that they were going to re-sign James Harden. LeBron there with James Harden, that's worse than having Luka on his side. That's worse. Because James Harden is old, though. I mean, not because he's any worse of a player, but you're going to get an old James Harden with no defense, who still want to shoot the ball, who still want to be the system when you got LeBron James on the court. Nah. And then, Jared Allen and Mobley, they soft. They are too soft. With those big dudes, they should be running the East. They should be dominating down low. There's no way they should get out-rebounded. They should be averaging 7 to 10 blocks a game between the team. Those two should be 2 to 3 blocks easy. They both should be averaging double-digit rebounds. Mobley don't look like he has it in him to really step up and be a number one and take the lead and be a real force on the court. And to keep it real, that Donovan Mitchell, he runs out of gas at the end of the year because they just really don't give him enough help. With all of those guys on the team, he should be able to play the Jalen Brunson role. He should be able to say, I could pass the ball around, have my guys go. A matter of fact, run the offense through James Harden for the first 3 quarters, and then let me take over in the fourth. He should be able to do that. But those other 2 that they invested a lot of their salary into, too soft. Evan Mobley, too soft. Especially to be a defensive player of the year. Boy, you soft as Connell, man. I don't get it, and I don't get it because literally there is no other 2 big man combo in the East that could really contest with them if one of them just had Mitchell for New York. If one of them had his mentality, like they could be beasting out there in Cleveland, but nah, don't do it, King. Hey, I'm a Lakers fan and a LeBron fan, so I want him to stay in LA. I believe in Mark Walters, man. I believe change is coming. Change gonna come. I'm gonna hit the field with my shackles if I got to. But yeah, no, I don't want to see him in Cleveland. Nah, not at all.
Yeah, I think that just doesn't look like a good landing spot. The fight that they showed, I mean, I wouldn't want to see LeBron go there at this point. So, like I said, we'll probably do a whole other show on that at a later date. But where I'm at right now, I would say hell nah to LeBron going there at this point. But listen, good call though. Jael, you got any final thoughts, man?
Oh yeah. I actually have begun to get my excitement back for basketball since the Lakers have been eliminated, and I ain't got to see Austin Reeves, man. I hate it had to be that way, but man, watching him, I was starting to lose my love for the game. But watching the Knicks, and I'm not a Knicks fan. I was a Jalen Brunson fan since back in Villanova. Not a fan, but I mean, I followed him since Villanova. But yeah, I'm happy to see him doing what a lot of other stars couldn't do. He looked out for his guys. He brought the guys, and he finna do something big over there in New York. And it's good to see. It's good for the NBA, and it's good for us fans whose teams have been put out and need somebody to root for. So yeah, that's all I got.
Exactly. All right, Jal. Good call, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Peace.
All right, bro. Peace. Yeah, man. Shout out to Jael. Good show, folks. Good show, man. Good show, folks. The Lakers. Yeah, man, weird spot to be in, man. If you're a Laker fan, weird spot to be in. You know, your supposed superstar is getting passed up by other players. You know, in his draft class, other players that are younger than him, and then you know, LeBron, he's planning on leaving too. So yeah, it's about to be a nasty summer for Faker fans. So. Yeah, man, you know, I don't really know what to tell you people, man. You know, I'm all out of solutions for you guys. I've tried for the last 4 summers to, you know, tell you guys to get rid of this garbage on this team, but you know, you guys fell in love with trash. So, you know, now you're stuck with it, and now I'm leaving. I'm about to jump ship soon as LeBron decides where he wants to go. So, yeah, like I said, I've turned in my Laker card a long time ago. I don't support the KKK. So, yeah, you know, me being a Faker fan, it's just out of the question at this point. So, I'm a free agent as well, folks. I'll be going wherever my GOAT goes. And yeah, man, it just is what it is. So, that's all I got, folks, on this one, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, hit that super chat. Shout out to Jordan C. Cole, Pole. Cole and Pole. That's crazy. Shout out to Pole and Cole and Unforgiven Sounds with the super chats. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, man. I'm out, man. Peace.
You lucky I'm not single. I would take your girl. That's what would happen. Don't make me come to your live and start throwing super chats at her.
So, man, I'm so in love.
You lucky I'm not single. I would take your girl. That's what would happen. Don't make me come to your live and start throwing super chats at her.
I want to give back everything because it means so much to me.
You don't notice most of the people in your comments are a bunch of racists who just hate LeBron because of his politics. Doesn't bother you at all. Ayo, bro. SMD, my nigga. SMD. You heard? SMD. You heard me? SMD. Straight up and down, dog. SMD. Nigga, I said it. You bitch-ass LeBron James fans.